What's up? Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO to get 2 risk-free bets up to $2,000. Welcome in. It is a Carmi V Wednesday.
Oh my gosh, is this actually a thing now?
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Carmi V Wednesday.
We were just singing that before the show, and Lawrence was yelling at us.
Don't make me mute you. I'll mute you. I have that power.
I think we only exist to.
I was singing the theme song of the OC. Carm had no idea what that is.
Oh, now called out on the show for not knowing the OC.
Wait, you don't know what the OC is at all?
This is bad for my brand. Now doubled up, and then I don't know the OC.
I don't know if it's bad for your brand.
I think it's bad.
It's probably worse for my brand that I know the show so well.
I was just going to say, I think it says more about us than it does about you.
The OC.
Only the greatest show that's ever appeared on Fox between the years of 2003 and 2007. I actually feel somewhat better that it's not concurrent and everyone's watching it, and I have no idea who when
it is.
I was a senior in high school and into college at the University of Wisconsin, the OC was life, man. That and Friday Night Lights.
The weird part about it was I was like the age of the characters in the show, which were like sophomores in high school, and I was like, I am not doing these things. Should I be doing these things?
This is not real life at all.
2003 to 2007 was great years, namely 05 to 07. That's when I was the play-by-play broadcaster for the St. Edward's University Hilltoppers. Wow. Shout out to Austin, Texas, and the Toppers. Damn it. Other than that, I have no idea.
Why are you getting angry at the Toppers? That sounds like a nice school or something.
It was a lovely place.
The Hilltoppers.
Lawrence, you would have loved it down
Wait,
there.
you lived in Austin?
I lived in Austin.
I don't think I ever knew that.
It was a
Franklin barbecue.
I didn't completely leave Chicago. I was down there in the winter making $3,000 to call these basketball games, talking to the parents of the team. I would get calls from texts from Mr. Mullinex because hey, the internet's out. Can you fix that? I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but yes, that's how I would know that I was off the air. But I would come back in the summers and sell beer at the ballparks to support my media wannabe. Please, somehow, can I do this career?
Well, it got you out of the Chicago winter, too. So,
It's better than me calling the Madison Ice Muskies games in the middle of the winter.
Wow. I don't know if it's better than calling the Madison Ice Muskies.
That team lasted 2.5 months.
What's an Ice Muskie?
That team lasted how long?
2.5 months.
Oh, okay. Well, then the Toppers
still owed some money.
What is this? Did you have your...
One of the greatest logos of all time, by the way, Madison Ice Muskies. What is an Ice Muskie?
Yeah, what is an Ice
It's
Muskie?
just, it's like a minor league hockey teams. They have a thing, and then they add the word ice to it to make it a hockey.
I don't even know what a muskie is.
Oh, it's a fish.
Oh, see.
Yeah.
Okay. That was the disconnect.
OC. There be it all full circle there.
There we go. Welcome in. It's Adam Hoge,
Sorry,
Carmi
guys.
V, Mark Carman, and we got a good show for you today as we turn the page. It's a back-to-work Wednesday, as Mark Tressman would say. Mm-hmm. We turn the page to the New York Giants. Before we do that, though, serious situation obviously going on in Florida right now. Carmi has some ties, some very, real ties to Tampa. You just came back from there.
I did just come back from there. And I was seeing videos and stuff that were coming out of Tampa and just the way that the water kind of recedes at first because it's being drawn up into this hurricane. And I've never seen anything like it. It was really scary. Most of the people I know have evacuated, which is crazy to say, but I'm really glad that most of them that I know are safe. And thinking about you, Tampa, because it's really scary.
Yeah.
That picture was straight terrifying. If you look at if you go to Carmi V's Twitter and see that picture
at
Carmi V, and then see the pictures of what it's supposed to look like, it's kind of Armageddon-esque.
Yeah, that like Bayshore Boulevard is where I would jog a lot, and you'd see dolphins swimming and all that kind of stuff. And I'd seen the
water's just like gone.
It's gone. So I'd seen the level like decrease before for like tropical storms and stuff, but I'd never seen it recede to that. So that kind of hit home a lot because I was just that it's crazy. It looks like a war zone already. It'll be interesting. The Bucs are down in Miami. Miami has the Thursday night game, obviously, so they're off. They cleared out of their facility. The Bucs are in there. They're still planning on playing a game on Sunday in Tampa, but I guess we're gonna have to see what kind of condition Tampa is in.
Yep, that's biggest game of the week, probably. The Chiefs going to Tampa. So
I wonder if they could just play it in Miami because Miami's going to be off. That's like neutral ground site at least, and it still kind of has the weather, I guess, that Tampa could, claim as an advantage.
Sure.
So I don't know. I mean, I would think that would be a good. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it's not a big deal because Tampa's fine after all of this.
That would be a great development. Let's hope that's what the case. But right now it's like literally happening. So
yeah,
it's
it just made landfall like an hour ago.
And
hopefully everyone's doing okay.
Yeah,
for sure.
Thanks,
and
guys.
as far as the football, not a good time for the Bucs to be playing the Chiefs.
No, they're angry.
Well, and Tampa's just.
Well, so
they need some health, do they not?
They're getting some guys. Like they'll get Mike Evans back.
Oh, that's true. Okay,
So
that's one.
hopefully you get Donovan Smith back at left tackle because he was a game time decision this past Sunday. Because if you watch, I did a film study on Green Bay's defensive line in that game, and they just attacked the left side of the Bucs line over and over and over again, and they had so much success between the rookie left guard and Gadecki, and then the left tackle Brandon Walton, who's their third string left tackle, which is wild because Josh Wells, who's their backup, already went out after Donovan Smith went out. So you were dealing with a guy that was making his first NFL start. You were dealing with a rookie on the interior of that, and they just, what Kenny Clark was able to do, and the rest of the line, honestly, they worked together really well, and they got 3 sacks on Tom Brady.
I just still think the Chiefs are good. Look,
They were good.
The only reason they lost to the Colts
they shot themselves in the
was
foot
because of
over and
special
over.
teams. And that doesn't usually happen with Dave Tobe. They were awful on special teams. Their kicker that they should have just had Justin Reed kick. He would have been better than the guy, and I think they cut Amendola after the game or whatever because he was terrible. So what's the line on that game? Do we know?
This is exactly what I was about
Probably
to
the Bucs favored.
No way. Really?
I don't know.
Pulling up right now.
No, I would have
Who's your best team in the NFL right now? Both of you.
Bills. Still.
Eagles, let's go. Fly
No,
high, Eagles.
It's not the Eagles.
EAGLES.
I love the Eagles. I think they're doing great, and they're doing all the things they're supposed to do, but you can't tell me that they're the best team in the NFL right now.
My point in asking the question overall is
You
that
gotta get this points bet thing figured out.
it feels wide open. NFL wide open. Bears.
You just got to use your phone.
I know.
Turn off the old Wi-Fi.
But I don't even whatever. All right.
Kansas City's a 1-point favorite.
Okay.
Give me the Chiefs, baby. Give me the Chiefs. All right, let's talk about the Bears, the Chicago Bears. They're going to New York this weekend. Nicholas Moreano will be there for the game. Have you covered? Make sure you're following him on Twitter. Where are you this weekend?
I am not anywhere, actually.
She's nowhere.
I am nowhere. I am everywhere and nowhere all at the same time.
That's why Carmi B's going to be, well, not really why, but you're also going to be here tomorrow night.
I'll be here tomorrow night.
Bears After Dark.
Bears After Dark.
Yo.
So we can get weird.
So, interesting connections between these two teams. First of all, they've played each other a lot in recent years. The Bears, I think, have won 3 straight against the Giants, maybe 4 straight at this point.
4.
But both teams wiped out front office, wiped out the coaching staff in the offseason. They interviewed the same people. Bears could have gone after Joe Shane. The Giants interviewed Ryan Poles twice. And then they ended up going in very different directions. The Giants said, we got this team upstate New York in the Buffalo Bills who are going in the right direction. Let's hire Joe Shane from the Bills. He's going to bring in Brian Daboll, which they did. And they went offense, with an offensive focus. Bears, meanwhile, end up hiring Ryan Poles, who was a finalist in New York. And he hires Matt Eberflus, defensive coach. And their quarterback situations are different in the sense of, obviously, Daniel Jones is kind of on his last leash there. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to figure all that out. You'd think the Giants will be in position potentially to draft a quarterback this year coming up. And the Bears don't want to be in that position. But after the last 2 weeks, you got to at least crack open that door a little bit, I think. So
Bears have won last 3.
Okay, there you go. And
yeah, the fourth one was an overtime game. Keep going.
So the question is, as you look at both franchises right now, the Giants and the Bears, by the way, one of these two teams is going to be 3-1 by Sunday afternoon, which is
just like we all thought.
Kind of crazy. Which franchise would you rather be? Which franchise is in a better position going forward?
That's a good question.
So I will jump out on the old Justin Fields ledge here. I would rather be developing Justin Fields right now in year 2 than getting to the end of Daniel Jones and figuring out how the hell I'm going to get a quarterback. So the Bears, now that is a slightly optimistic Justin Fields take.
Sure.
But I'd rather bet on Fields than bet on the complete unknown. In addition to that, though, and I love the Flus. Let's go Flus. But Brian Daboll, I love that hire. I think that I've definitely had intermittent moments of did we blow it not bringing Brian Daboll over here and going offense. That philosophy is
offensive coordinator Mike Kafka, Northwestern Zone.
Go Cats is a great build upon that. Yes,
Kafka getting a lot of love this week on the CHGO Bears show.
That's he got mentioned yesterday. That's we're going back to back. The other thing too, I love Saquon, but going through a major knee injury, coming back, he had moments where he looked good in their last game, but that just worries me as far as the kind of a foundational piece as well.
Yeah. He flashed the Saquon of 3-4 years ago, but you'd wonder how sustainable that is now that his age is creeping up. Also, with Daniel Jones, you didn't pick up his fifth-year option, so I feel like they're gonna have to get rid of him because otherwise they're gonna have to pay him a lot of money, more than anybody should be comfortable.
Well, and they're both similar too, by the way, as far as. The Bears are having trouble allowing pressure on the quarterback. The Giants are having trouble allowing pressure on the quarterback. There's a lot. There's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though. Actually, both
being gashed in the run game.
Both teams are in relatively good shape going forward with having flexibility. Of course, the Bears, as of right now, have a ridiculous projected cap space. Yeah. Going into next year of over $105 million, which is by far the first in the league. But second on the list is the Giants. This is according to Spotrac. The Giants, though, that's way down at $57 million. That shows you the gap. But it's still, you're in good shape, too, if you're the Giants. It's not like you're going into
Do you
the
need as many pieces, though, if you're the Giants? Because I feel like they added through the draft this year.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
it's like, okay.
I was agreeing with you that maybe they don't need as many as the Bears.
Yeah,
but
they don't need as many as the Bears.
They did get Kayvon Thibodeau.
Evan Neal.
They had 2 top 10 picks this year, one of them being the Bears pick from the Justin Fields trade, which is another connection in this whole thing. Of course, if you talk to Giants fans wish that they hadn't traded that pick or hadn't made that trade with the Bears because they could have drafted the guy drafted right behind Justin Fields, which was Micah Parsons, who ended up in the division and probably beat them and was the biggest reason why they lost on Monday night. You can't really look at it that way if you're the Bears.
No.
The Bears were trading up to get a quarterback. It's not like it was their pick and they just skipped Parsons. But if you're the Giants and you're the team that traded back, you could say, well, which one would you rather have right now?
Mm-hmm. I mean, Micah Parsons he's making his case for Defensive Player of the Year, easy. And that Dallas defense, though, I think is also a lot better than we're giving it credit for.
Probably.
It's okay. It just feels a little bit kind of amazing that would you rather Micah Parsons right now than Justin Fields? That's where
the only argument you're making there is the Bears would have been trading up for Micah Parsons,
right? Which
Bears fans would have lost their minds at that time,
right? It had
another defensive player. Now it would have worked out, but then you don't have Justin Fields. Who's your quarterback right now?
No, you would not have been trading up for Micah Parsons. That would have made 0.0 cents.
Right.
But
that's not fair. But if you're from the Giants' perspective, I get it.
Oh yeah, that's a fair question.
Somebody at the time when they made the trade wrote Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy have their quarterback. This time it wasn't a secret that the Bears might move up for a quarterback, and that's exactly what they did Thursday night, selecting Ohio State's Justin Fields with the 11th overall pick. Does that sound familiar to you? Because you wrote that.
Huh? I was gonna say it does kind of sound familiar. Yeah, they were in. They legitimately did not know how the quarterback board was going to fall that night. They went into the night pretty much feeling like they needed a miracle to get into that range. They felt like that Giants pick at number 11 was kind of the spot where they could realistically, make that move to get in there. It started to become realistic when the Panthers picked right ahead of the Broncos, right? The Panthers took the corner from South Carolina, and that was a surprise. And that threw off the Broncos' plans because the Broncos were in the mix for these quarterbacks, but when Patrick Surtain fell to them, they thought the Panthers were taking Surtain. So he falls to them. That's when the door swung wide open for the Bears to get Justin Fields because now the Broncos took Surtain instead of a quarterback. And I can tell you that going on in that draft room, in that Bears draft room, they were like scrambling, like, okay, like let's make sure we have the parameters of these trades in place, which they had already done at the time with the Giants, but they had to, get on the phone. And then you may remember that the Eagles leapfrogged the Giants. They traded up to get Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
And there was some tense moments there because there was a little bit of worry that might be them trading up for Fields, even though at that point they had Jalen Hurts, but Jalen Hurts wasn't really like established yet. So there was a little bit of nervousness there, but then obviously they take Devonta Smith. The Bears had the parameters for the trade to go in with the Giants. They made it happen. Bam, Justin Fields, Bear.
I got to read you one more thing you wrote here.
Okay.
Weaknesses. Fields is a methodical passer who sometimes hesitates to pull the trigger. The clock will need to be faster at the NFL level. While he can make plays with his feet when structure breaks down, he's not as dangerous of a thrower off platform. Fumbles were also an issue for him. You nailed kind of at least one of his major issues right now, dude.
Well, that wasn't just – I mean, I think that was –
That was what? Don't run away from the credit. I'm throwing you.
No, I appreciate – I think that was a relatively common take from people –
okay.
who were watching his film at Ohio State.
okay.
I don't know. I'm not. I'm just.
Well, okay, fine. Yeah. But I just think it's when we are sort of just sitting here looking at what's going on.
It's played out, and there's a reason why Fields was my fourth quarterback. But when I say that, like I still liked him a lot. Like I still had a first round grade. I still felt great about where the Bears got him. 11th overall, absolutely. It was a very strong quarterback class, but there were still reasons why I had Trevor Lawrence number 1 overall, which you're seeing now. It's starting to click there for Trevor Lawrence. The Zach Wilson and Trey Lance situations have obviously been weird with injuries. And
Would you rather have Mac Jones?
Absolutely not, which I said over and over again going into that draft. I think I had a second round grade on Mac Jones, which is honestly how I think that's playing out right now. Like he's fine. He's
fine.
You're going to be able to win some games with him, but he's not going to be a special quarterback.
Can't project injuries, but this is a rough start to the season for Mac Jones and the Patriots.
Right.
And by the way, on the schedule, winnable game, Bears.
Ooh. True though.
There's, I mean, on a quick side note, let's just underline 6 more games for the Bears on the schedule, the teams that are currently 1-2. That would be the Commanders, the Lions twice. Now, Detroit's been very competitive. They should have 2 wins. The Falcons, the Pats, and the Jets. That's 8 wins. No brainer.
I'll tell you what, that game in New England doesn't look nearly as scary as it did before the season.
But the games against Detroit now look a little bit more scary.
I kind of already had that as a split. I think when I was going through my season projections, I was like, they're going to split with the Lions. They split with the Lions when they're bad. Like, yeah.
I mean, the fact that the Lions are averaging over nearly 32 points a game, and they're 1-2. I mean, their defense is giving up points, but you have to score points.
And Dan Campbell is crying and saying he cost the team the game. Come on, Dan Campbell. Don't do that. You're good for the league.
We're all rooting for you.
We all love you, Dan Campbell.
My dad is texting me the Madison Ice Muskies logo in the middle of the show.
Way to go, Richard Hoge.
That is
Isn't
really
that a
cool.
sweet
That's
logo?
A sweet logo.
Yeah, send it over here. I'll throw it on the old screen.
Yeah.
I did a quick search and couldn't find it, and then
it's disappeared off the. I still have a sweatshirt. You know what I'll do? I still have a sweatshirt. I will wear it.
Oh.
I will wear it on Sunday.
All right, let's go. Alex Flores, I'm with you, buddy. Going to say the last thing and enjoy the show. Justin Fields will be fine. I see you, buddy.
I mean, if he was the knock on him, was holding the ball. Kind of his processing time was a little bit low. Like, now he's on his third offense in 3 years. Like, of course, it's also low right now. The question is, if once he gets more comfortable and understands the offense a little bit more, can he then have a quicker processing time and figure it out? And like, these offenses aren't super like easy. Like, I think I saw a lot of comparisons to Cooper Rush and like just what he was able to do with the Cowboys. That offense was dumbed down for him in that game. Like, he didn't have to make as many decisions. All of those reads and stuff kind of were like immediately there for him. You're bringing guys out there. Like, I think there was this one, was it the one on the CeeDee Lamb catch? I think like CeeDee was essentially the only guy that he could have thrown to, because he had like the tight ends that were there, but they ended up staying in the block. And so like, he's not having to go through progressions and process all of this stuff instantaneously, which is what you need to do for your backup quarterback, because he's not used to executing this offense. But I mean, they just kind of made it bare bones and kind of dumbed it down for him, and it worked.
I do have a sort of an optimistic view to bring to the show on Justin Fields today, okay? And I was talking about this earlier on the score, so I apologize if some people have already heard this, but I'm watching more of the film even last night, specifically just watching Justin Fields plays, okay? Mm-hmm. And you know how like we eventually reached the point with Mitch Trubisky where everybody was just like, okay, like the guy just can't read defenses. Like, he doesn't know what he's looking at.
Yeah.
He at least not enough, okay? The weird thing that's going on with Justin right now is he's looking in the right places. Mm-hmm. Like, he appears to be actually reading the defenses correctly and looking at the spots where he's supposed to throw the ball. I think he's internally doubting himself that he's looking at the right place. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. It's like he's actually doing it. He just hasn't convinced himself that he is doing it. And I would much rather have that situation than have the guy just drop back and have no idea what's going on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So something has to click there, and I think it still can, where he's just got to go through these experiences, and eventually when he realizes, I'm actually doing this correctly, he's going to be throwing that ball quicker, faster. He's going to pull the trigger, as I put it in what you pulled up from a few years ago. He's going to pull that trigger more. I hope.
I think he also has just a very skewed version of like what he thinks playing quarterback at the NFL level is in some ways, because he doesn't have the people around him necessarily to like the talent around him as far as receivers go. But then even with some of the pass protection issues with the offensive line, I know they've been really good at run blocking, but like there's still issues with pass protection. I feel like Fields just thinks that he's going to have to contend with a defender coming in his face all the time. And like, there's times where he's just like backpedals and, he's one-on-one with a defender in the backfield. And like, there's not panic out of him. It's almost like he expects that to happen.
But he's got to get over that, because there's at least 2 of the 5 sacks Sunday were on him, in my opinion.
For sure.
There was one where he could have stepped up, and instead he backpedaled out of there and ended up getting tackled. If you step up in the pocket, you're probably okay, or at least can scramble. And then there's the one I brought up on the show yesterday where he's got Khalil Herbert right in front of him, and he literally walks into the pressure.
Yeah.
Instead of just throwing the ball. And it wasn't like a long throw. It was like a 6-yard dump off. Like, you just got to do it.
We're back into the feeling the game, playing natural, comfortability that he hasn't shown. Listen, perhaps too much to ask that he makes a major jump this week and, 1% better, as they say, would probably be good. But just a reminder, the New York Football Giants, they've got 3 sacks through 3 games, all right? They don't have a pick. Quarterbacks are doing quite well against the Giants. Quarterback rating at 94. So
teams are running on him.
They're running all over him. The Bears might run it 40 times on Sunday, but when he's throwing the football, he should have time to do it. So, yeah. Come on, QB1. Come on, one. Let's have a step forward this week.
Well, let's get into this matchup a little bit. But first, I want to tell you that this football season, PointsBet is bringing you a better way to bet live on games. And that means before this ad is over, you can place a live same-game parlay, bet on the next drive to be a touchdown, and cash out on your live second-half over bet. So whether you are on the move or on the couch, do it live on PointsBet. Download the PointsBet app today. Sign up with code CHGO to get your first 2 bets risk-free, up to $2,000. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER for crisis counseling and referral services.
And when you are going to get tickets to a concert, to a game, to anything to entertain you to the end of the earth, you should be doing it right here on the Game Time app. Best value out there, incredible deal. Saving yourself money, getting the best seats, or just getting yourself in the building. The way to do it with the Game Time app is really the only way you should be thinking about doing it. Looking right now, Phillies Cubs, great value, right behind home plate. That would be, oh man, little 410. Love that section right there. $6. Throw in the fees, you get to 14, and you're into Wrigley for one of the last nights of the year. Beautiful night for baseball, by the way.
And you get to boo Schwarber and Castellanos, or root for them, either way.
That was weird last night. David Ross booing Schwarber at the plate. I don't know. Okay.
I'm on the football season. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I saw that one making the Twitter rounds. But if you love CHGO and want to support us, the best way to do the Game Time app is to get your tickets through the link that is in the description. The Game Time app, best way to go to concerts, games. We love you, Game Time.
Great.
Guess how many pitches of White Sox baseball I've watched since they collapsed last Tuesday?
Gonna go with 0.
0. In fact, I didn't even know until I checked my phone last night that they've literally lost every single game since that night. So, congratulations.
It's a great quit.
I mean, if you're gonna implode, you might as well.
I mean, I can't be mad at them for quitting since I apparently quit too.
It's kind of how I felt when I was playing Nick yesterday in ping pong.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just made me implode.
This is turning into such a saga.
Yeah.
Nick had one of the greatest ping pong
It was a good shot.
hits I've ever seen in my life, and I was filming it, and I literally stopped the camera the second before he dove on the ground and flipped the one up in the air that landed, and I think he got the point.
He did. Yeah, I got closest that I've gotten to with Nick, and I don't want to talk about it, but 21-16 yesterday. I'm creeping, and
Is that a score prediction for this weekend?
Ooh,
that's interesting.
21-16.
That's interesting. I'm gonna give myself a second to come up with my Bears Giants score, Carmi V, but we'll put that as a possibility.
The Bears have signed a wide receiver to their practice squad.
Okay.
Reggie Roberson Jr. Maybe it's Roberson. Reggie Roberson Jr.
SMU kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That means they did not trade for.
Yeah, that's a depth type. We don't expect any sort of actual.
I'm just passing some news along. I don't know that.
We went down.
I would set the over-under Reggie Roberson Jr. catches for the Chicago Bears at under, whatever the number is.
Put it on the record that I love Emir Smith-Marset. I want to see him on the field. I want to see him catching balls on a kick return.
Well, his first kick return didn't go that well.
That was a one kick return. Can we give Guy a little bit of a chance to breathe? You picked him up from Minnesota for a reason. Your wide receiver room is thin.
It takes a while to pick up although he was coming. He did play in a similar scheme the last couple of years, so I would think he could pick this up quicker than some other ones. But you don't just sign a wide receiver and play. Like I didn't watch much of the Tampa game last week, but you have Cole Beasley.
I know goes right in.
And I was listening to the game driving home, and even the analyst was like, "There's no way Cole Beasley knows what the checks are right now that Tom Brady's trying to do in the 2-minute drill."
No, Tom is telling him what route to run and to just do it.
Yeah,
that's what Tom's
it takes
doing.
time. That's a veteran wide receiver.
Yes.
That's fine. But I talked to Amir.
You talked to him. Okay.
We have a bond. And Amir told me what you just said, basically. It's a very similar system. Once I got the verbiage down, I'm good. So, as in he's good, as in he's ready, as in we have no wide receivers. Give Amir come on, man.
Well, here's the thing, and I have no idea. We're going to learn maybe the next couple hours. I would guess N'Keal Harry's not quite ready to. No, he's still a week away from being eligible.
Bayless Jones.
But I think he's eligible to practice this week if he's healthy.
Yeah.
Because there's like a ramp-up period you could do. So there's that. There's Bayless Jones.
Great.
Last night
we had Adam Rank and I had Deion Brooks on. He was the fan that like was crying after the Bears-Packers loss.
That's a great get, by the way.
Yeah. So we talked to him, and he was at the Bears game this past Sunday.
Missed opportunity for CHGO.
Swing and a miss. Actually, not a swing, just a miss.
just a miss. He talked to Bayless Jones on Sunday when he was at the game because he was at the sideline pass and he was talking to all the players and stuff. The Bears invited him out, and Bayless said that he was going to be ready to go this week.
Wait, so the Bears invited him out to practice because he cried?
No, the game
on the
itself,
field. He was on
yeah.
the field. He did another video this on Sunday where he was on the field, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm on the team." He's wearing a Mooney jersey.
Yeah, because that was one of the things in the video was like, she's like, "You better be suiting up the way that you're committed to this," and he was just like, "I'm with the team." So then on Sunday he was with the team.
I mean, he's a comedian. Just so we're aware.
He is a
It's
comedian.
all fake.
Oh, was that whole thing a bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
He did say, he told us that like the feelings were there because he is a huge Bears fan. But
Wait,
no,
that whole thing was fake?
Come on, man. It's 2022. Nothing's real.
Nothing's real.
I hate that. Come on.
Nothing's real.
No, it was good though. It was. I appreciated it.
Okay,
It was,
so-
it was real.
I hate the internet.
I was a little bit slow to realizing who we were talking about. I actually have been trying to get him. And so
I do you want that? I can help that.
So
I can
swing
help
and
with
a
that
miss.
now.
tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night? Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah. All right,
Wait,
I'll ask
do
him.
you have
did you
room?
know it was fake?
Yes, he's a comedian.
Okay.
I mean,
Sorry.
but I didn't know it was fake when it first came out. So and to your upset, I have the same upset. Like, oh,
Yeah, when I first found
It's
out,
not
I was
real.
like, oh, okay.
But the dude's funny.
I'm not
Yeah,
going to lie. I
he's
did have my doubts. I'm like, nobody could actually be this upset.
Right.
Well, he was on the field on Sunday, and
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? Did you see that clip?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on the. Yeah.
So,
Carb, you need to realize you probably should just send me anything that you see that you think I should see.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm
Okay.
not going
Not
to
gonna
see
see
it.
it.
You're Mr. Twitter.
I'm Mr. Twitter in like the football world, though. I'm not like,
You
I
don't
mean, that crossed over.
I didn't see it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just following the wrong people.
Well, he told me that he talked to Bayless Jones. He told me and Adam that he talked to Bayless Jones, and Bayless Jones told him that he was going to be ready to go.
Wait, we're relying on the comedian for the.
I'm not
Okay.
saying it's verified information.
All
I'm
due
just
respect
telling
to that,
you.
too. Valus Jones also told reporters when he came out there for that one practice a couple weeks ago that he was going to play
Yeah,
on
he was
Sunday.
gonna, yeah.
And then he didn't practice the next day.
I still want him on the show because good job being funny and being in the conversation, but I'm not 100% confident that Valus is playing. But but that's it's good info, Carmi V. I'm not trying to.
I'm not saying it's verified info. I was just saying that that's a possibility that they could get Bayless Jones back or in.
Also,
Yeah.
Doug, you are 100% wrong. I have seen the video that they're talking about. I had 100 people send it to me after the game because the Packer fans enjoyed it. The Packer fans are the ones who really got spoofed on that because they all thought it was real.
Yeah, take
I
that.
didn't follow up on it, and I didn't know that it wasn't real or the guy was a comedian. I guess it's a great bit.
Also, to even crush your world a little further, that's not actually his girlfriend either.
Oh, my.
It was just his friend. She helped him with it.
Wow, Carmi V is on the inside of the inside with today's.
It doesn't bother you at all?
Nothing's real.
This is real.
This
show is this is a
We're
real ass
real.
show, okay? People, it's all real. The takes are real, the thoughts are real. It's genuine. This is the internet space you want to be in.
This is
CHGO.
100% real, 100% all the time. Let's get that in the. Can we make that a motto for Wednesdays or something?
Real Wednesdays.
Real Wednesdays.
That's no one cares about this. When I was in college, we literally had Real Wednesdays in our house that we lived in, where it was like you just say whatever you really want to say, and then you just
That
be like,
sounds extremely healthy for
and then you
college
just be
kids.
like, Real Wednesday. It's Real Wednesday. It was great.
That's
It was healthy.
It seems like a very healthy thing for college kids to do.
It feels ahead of the curve.
It does.
I mean, I needed like at least 5 years of intense group therapy before I could have gotten to that point, and I hadn't had that in college. So good job.
You just needed
There's no chance any of those guys are watching this show right now, but if they were and knew I was talking about Real Wednesday in 2022 on this show, they'd be losing their minds right now. All right. The matchup.
Okay.
Bears, Giants. I haven't gotten far enough to the point, and we'll have to submit our predictions here probably in the next 24 hours or so, where I'm like comfortable making a firm prediction yet. My initial reaction, though, as we turn the page from Texans to Giants, the timing seems right for this matchup for the Bears. You know, I think the Giants were exposed to some things, or exposed in some ways, I should probably say, They lose Sterling Shepard.
Yeah.
Like who's their top wide receiver right now? Kenny Galladay, who's doing nothing for them.
It's not Kenny Galladay,
right? Yeah. So I feel like
Richie James.
What?
Richie James is their leading receiver right now.
That's not a real wide receiver.
Giant or not a giant?
46 yards.
Giant or not a giant?
That's a good one to play. Because
Lawrence, what was the bear or not a bear you brought up in the middle of the game the other day?
I have no idea because I couldn't tell who he was.
I think it was like Cole Kmet or something.
Oh, was it?
They have 3 guys tied for sacks, which each of them has 1 because they only have, I think, 3 on the season.
Yeah, the pass rush isn't there.
Yeah, I don't know any of these guys.
Like, so if you're the Bears, and right now, where are you weak on offense? Your passing game, your pass protection. I think it's been good enough. Not great, not even good, but good enough. But now you're facing a team that doesn't really scare you from a pass rush standpoint too much, at least based on what they've done so far.
Unless Kayvon Thibodeau decides to.
They can't stop the run.
No, not at all.
So you should be able to continue to run the football. Shout out to anybody who was able to pick up Khalil Herbert in fantasy on the waiver wire in the last 24 hours. Me not being one of those people. I didn't bid enough money.
I don't want to cut you off here, and I don't want to take away any optimism. And I don't want to say that Justin Fields isn't a part of the problem as far as the sack rate, but the Bears are 4th from the bottom as far as protecting the quarterback when he's going back. What's
that based on?
That's the sack rate. Sack rate percentage.
I'm telling you, granted, offensive line coaches are clearly biased, but I would bet that Chris Morgan would tell you that at least half the sacks are on the quarterback so far.
Also, if it's sack rate percentage,
but it's fine that they're all in it together.
If it's sack rate percentage, then that's also probably skewed a little bit because like it's based on the number of dropbacks, right?
Yes.
And so the Bears haven't had that many dropbacks.
But whenever they do, it's an issue.
Yeah.
I'm just putting out facts here.
Okay.
Do you know 78.3 net passing yards. 78.3 net. That's last.
I hope it's last.
But what's more jarring is 31st. Second to last is Carolina, 161.
Yeah, so it's by a large margin.
Which is double.
Yes.
You have to double their net passing to get to 31.
Yeah.
I don't know if that difference has ever existed in the history of the NFL.
Yeah. And by the way,
I mean, what are we in 1942 and everybody else is playing now?
Oh, I told you the stat the other day. Like, no team had won a game since 1978 or whatever with that quarterback stat line. Nobody's denying that. No. It needs to be better. But you're not playing the Packers this week. You're playing the Giants.
Right. I know. I outlined it earlier.
And for the second week in a row, these teams are very similar. The Bears aren't getting enough pass rush either. So they're probably sitting there in New York going, we should be able to run against them. They can't stop the run. They're not getting a pass rush. They're probably saying the exact same stuff.
Yep.
I'll tell you right now, and I'm 2-1 on my picks this year, I will be picking the Bears to win this week.
Okay.
Bears, Hoge.
Okay. One of my favorite qualities about you is how you have ability to like. You just spent like 5 minutes shitting on the Bears, and then I'm picking them to win.
Because I am betting on the future. It's the we're Seabiscuit. Where's my guy? It's the future. The future. Sunday, Carmi V. Looking at me completely like I'm crazy right now. Yes, that's what it's been to this point, and it's going to get better. Bears.
Got one update for you, and we will have Nicholas Moreano on from Howells Hall here shortly. We understand that
Amir Smith-Marsette's going to have 7 catches this week, or maybe 1.
Yes, Matt Eberflus just said that in the press conference. He told everybody 7 catches. Amir, no, just kidding. He did say that hopefully, quote, hopefully, this is from Adam Johns. You may have heard of him.
This feels like a Velus.
On Twitter, at Adam Johns. Hopefully, Velus Jones Jr. can play this week, Bears coach Matt Eberflus said when asked about losing Byron Pringle. So there you go. The one catch that Byron Pringle brings you will be replaced by Velus Jones.
Okay, so there you go.
Hey, we don't need to play Velus a ton of snaps. Just let him return kicks so we don't have to watch.
That's where I think he has a better impact. The field position, maybe he can break one for you, but it's more so I think in the return game where Velus Jones Jr. would make a difference right away.
You know he's going to get those opportunities. And I do worry about hamstring injuries. Those take forever to heal. You definitely want to play. It's hard to hold yourself back. You have a setback on that thing. Now your whole season is screwed. So I hope he's healthy. Let's trust the doctors here that they're making the right decision, putting him back on the field. But I'm excited to see him.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that they've been cautious with him, and that's why he hasn't played yet.
Right.
Because I brought this up the other day. I mean, if they knew he was going to miss 4 weeks, they would have put him on IR. So either this was sort of always the spot where you were hoping to get him back week 4, or something happened where there was a setback. I hope it's just they weren't sure. They're being very careful to make sure that it doesn't become a bigger thing.
Yeah, it won't. I mean, it's not like he's going to be having to shoulder a load, a huge load, like, being the team's number 1 receiver. And
we got to get the comedian for inside information here, but I mean, I assume he's foam rolling every day. I
don't know.
He's doing his yoga.
I'm sure that the training staff has him, doing a lot of
getting some solid massages 3 times a week. Let's go.
Maybe there's some acupuncture in there. Who knows?
Right, sure. Let's get the knots out. Let's get some needles going here. Whatever needs to be done. Velus, we miss you bad.
Braggs is worried about it being a road game.
Okay.
Well, I'm worried about the turf. I'm not worried about the stadium itself. I'm
the
worried
Giants
about,
turf.
Yeah,
just playing on turf.
Yeah,
it's been a problem, right? With
it's been a problem. That's like with their own guys.
Did you see
the Sterling Shepard injury was like?
He was just
That wasn't the turf. That was just something in his body was ready to pop, and it could go at any minute because he didn't even do anything on that play.
Well, they've had issues on that. Like teams also have had issues on that.
Yeah,
turf.
I remember that being a thing.
Yeah.
Well,
on the MetLife turf.
Odell, OBJ was tweeting about it.
Yeah, that's like right after that happened with Shep.
Like, hey, this is the NFL. We're all billionaires. Can we get some grass? Why do we have to play on this shit?
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. Like, it seems like there should be some solution that is universal.
Yeah, like
or at least 2 different surfaces that are relatively universal. One for indoor stadiums, one for outdoor stadiums.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't actually have grass because you have a roof or whatever, but like...
Yeah, I get like the different climates too, Matt, like the grass. But at the same time, I think that the Bears now have the same grass that like Tampa does. They have that Bermuda grass.
Yeah. No. It's the Bermuda grass. It's a little different, Carmi.
Oh, it's the Bermuda grass.
That's
I'm
right.
so sorry. Semantics.
And it's been holding up pretty well through the first 2 weeks, I'd say. So, but you have stadiums right now, like Arizona, they literally are able to
roll it. I've seen it.
The grass out into the parking lot and get it in the sun.
The wild part though about that is though when they roll that out, and it's like, I mean, it is kind of thick, but below it is just a concrete slab. Like there's no like I'm surprised that there's not more like cushion or whatever. And I've heard that Arizona's turf or playing surface is not good to play on either. It's really hard. Which is not surprising because I've seen them roll this out. I interned for the Cardinals in college, and I would get there early enough to see them roll it in and out. And I'm like, there's just this giant concrete slab underneath it. And I'm like, can we get some, like, I don't know, a little bit of cushion? I don't know. It just seemed weird to me. But then, I guess other teams do that too.
Well, I get it. If you have a dome stadium and it's just that would be the situation with grass, that doesn't really help anything. However, outdoor stadium, NFL rule: you play outdoors, you have a grass field. That's how it works.
Yeah. Well, apparently it's not.
And I get it too for New York because you've got the Jets and the Giants, and so there's a lot of usage going on all the time.
Do you know at Tottenham in London?
Oh yeah,
that they have.
They suck.
They literally it's unnecessary. Go Spurs.
The stadium though.
Go you Spurs or whatever they say.
They do the same thing, though.
That's my Premier League team because they have a cool logo, and that's the only reason, and it's cool. And because I've been to their stadium.
Their logo's a stupid bird.
You don't like chicken? You don't eat chickens?
This Saturday, 6:30 a.m., Arsenal versus those scumbags.
I didn't even know that was this week. That's funny.
Ooh, I'm going to an Arsenal game in April.
Congratulations to you. That's awesome.
Thank you. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, you should be.
Benedetto is just dialed in. That's what.
What I was gonna say is grass pitch, as they like to call it, for soccer literally rolls out over the artificial playing surface they have underneath, which they use for NFL games. NFL,
yeah.
Like,
that's cool.
But the point is, like, to support the original thing is, like, this is the NFL. Can we just figure out something that's safe and works? It shouldn't be this damn hard.
No, you're right.
Well, you work so hard to get to play in the league, to be in, and then, I got to play on this stuff, and I just had a non-contact injury, and I'm out for a year, and my career, if I'm a bubble player, is most likely over. That sucks. Yeah. Not saying that you can't get hurt on grass. Clearly you can. But come on, league.
No, but like when it's reached like players and certain players, because the players know which playing surfaces are good and which playing surfaces are bad. And like if you know that, then you should do something about that. Like there shouldn't be a variance like that, especially when it comes to injuries and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're in agreement.
Hey, real quick, we got to make sure everybody knows about Green Ridge Farm. An amazing Chicago local meat and cheese company.
One farm.
Yeah, just one farm.
One amazing farm.
It's the one amazing farm.
One delicious farm.
2 Carms, 1 farm.
That's right. 2 Carms, 1 farm.
Lawrence.
Green Ridge Farm. It is a Chicago local meat and cheese company that offers you a better all-natural option. We have a lot of that stuff in our fridge here at CHGO. It's so good. The makers of the all-natural deli meat, sausages, and their famous meat sticks. Gotta love the meat sticks. Perfect for tailgating, happy hour, school lunches. The all-natural meat sticks are hardwood smoked for 8 hours. 16 grams of protein per stick. So
they go well in a Bloody Mary. I'll say that.
Bam.
Ooh.
Yeah. Perfect in a Bloody Mary.
This man's living in 3022.
Perfect for Nicholas Moreano's post-workout snack with the 16 grams of protein. They come in chicken, but we just documented that Lawrence doesn't like chicken. The Black Forest beef, and there's flavors like jalapeno cheddar and spicy chili. If you haven't tried them yet, you don't know what you're missing. Delicious because they're made from recipes, generations in the making, and the fact that they're all natural, delivering a fresh and flavorful alternative at snack time. You can find them right now at Costco, Sam's Club, or in your local Chicagoland grocery store. And when you order any 3 meat products at greenridgefarm.com and include a pack of meat sticks in your cart, guess what? Those meat sticks will be free. Free, free. Simply by using the code CHGO at checkout.
And just to qualify, I actually like chicken a lot for people in the chat. I do.
I
think Spurs is a trash club and never wins anything.
You called it a stupid bird.
Yeah, their logo. Yeah.
Speaking of logos, do you have that Ice Muskie logo we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, let's do that.
Good way to sneak that in the show because I was didn't really know how we were going to work that back into the conversation. Somehow we just did it. You can't tell me that logo's amazing.
That is pretty amazing.
He's busting through the
ice.
I was
he's busting through like a
puck. Yeah.
Oh, the ice sheet. He's busting through like the ice sheet.
Looks like the old Hartford Whalers, at least color-wise.
Color-wise, yeah.
I'm telling you. This was a thing that should have had more success, and it was just run by the wrong people, and it didn't work out.
I am Mr. Hockey. To pull out a Hartford Whaler, give me some props.
Congratulations on pulling out a team pretty much anyone over the age of 30 should have heard of.
Who wouldn't know that? Yeah, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, you think you deserve props for knowing the Hartford Whalers?
That doesn't impress me much, Carm.
You're a hockey guy because you know the Hartford Whalers?
How about this? How about this? I saw the Blackhawks with Roenick play the Whalers in Hartford. Does that count?
Sure, at the mall. That's great.
So you're old.
Why is it called the mall?
Because that's where they played. It was in a mall. But
no wonder they moved to Carolina.
All right, never mind. You cannot be impressed by my Hartford.
They played at a mall.
I'll be impressed that
Brass Bonanza, man. Brass Bonanza. We all know the Whalers. Love the Whalers.
I'm a basketball guy, Lawrence, and for me to be able to pull out the Hartford Whalers and say that I went to a Blackhawks game with Roenick, Kevin Kadek should be proud of me.
He should be.
Because that's a real hockey fan.
Kind of thumbs up. That's all you can hope for.
All right. Back to Bears.
Eli says that looks like more of a trout than a muskie. Okay.
And I'd like to compliment the maturity of the chat when we get to the Greenridge Farm read.
It's true. I didn't really comment because I was just like, oh, this is gonna.
Here it comes.
What's wrong with the meat stick?
Nothing.
No, absolutely nothing. But
we can have fun, everybody.
Yeah.
Bragg says he only heard of the Whalers because of mall rats.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
That's the Kevin Smith film. So after Clerks.
But shout out.
I don't remember the Whalers being involved in that, but I guess
not the Kevin James film, Mall Cop.
God, no. Yeah.
Shout out to Braggs, who I did not realize that I took a shot at Braggs on the show yesterday, but when I was going back through the show, I realized that, indeed I did.
What'd you do?
Well, I said, who doesn't want to lay brick with Braggs? And then, I mean, you get a lunch break. I mean, clearly Braggs takes lunch breaks, and that was uncalled for. So,
I didn't even notice that, but thank you for now bringing it to everybody's attention again.
Yeah. So I
so now you just took another shot.
Yeah, I did.
You proactively brought up the shot.
You're like half apologizing, but really you just wanted to bring it up.
I wanted one more.
Bam.
Well, because he's hanging out.
Thanks, Brax.
Kevin Canos. He's assigning me to watch Mallrats tonight.
I mean, it's a great film.
Homework.
It's an amazing film. I love that film.
Bragg says Carm called me fat.
Never use that word.
Someone accused me of doing that to Jay Zawoski on Sunday, too.
What did you do to Jay?
I had an Instagram video. I'm walking around, and I'm finding the CHGO employees in the crowd. Everybody's being nice and mingling with all our awesome people that came out to hang out with us. And I got to Jay, and guess where Jay was standing? By the food truck. That's not calling him fat. He has a podcast about food, and it is called I'm Fat. The I'm Fat podcast.
So did you say, no surprise, he's right next to the food truck?
Yes, I did.
Well, that you called him fat.
No, I didn't. I said the food guy's next to the food truck. If he had no connection to food, then I would get you. He has a podcast called the I'm Fat podcast.
Are you
I'll give you that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Food guys.
And he leans into it. And he thought it was funny.
Well, you're making two separate points here. You're now saying that he calls himself fat.
No, I said he has a podcast called the I'm Fat podcast.
I think that you were a little insensitive to Jay, as I was a little insensitive to Braggs.
Okay.
But I think we're all okay. Carmi, what do we think?
I don't have time to watch Mallrats tonight, but I want to. What's it rated?
It's a great film.
What's it rated?
I don't know. Probably, I don't know. What, are we talking Rotten Tomatoes?
You don't watch it with my kid?
Oh, no, yeah. No,
like my dad who took me to the Big Lebowski when I was 12?
No, I mean, that's just an education at that point.
Can we do that, by the way, real quick? First rated R movie that you ever saw as a kid, because I want to...
The Big Lebowski when I was 12 at the Biograph Theater on Lincoln Avenue.
Mine was Flashdance at the Highland Park Theater for $1.50.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was amazing. And I remember my father, who was an old dad at that point, you just walked up to the guy, what's in this movie that a young man should not see? Well, sir, there's a lot of profanity and nudity. We'll take 2 tickets. That was good parenting.
That is good parenting. My first, I think, was Jerry Maguire. That was the first rated R movie I saw.
Jerry Maguire?
Yeah.
I remember watching that.
Kind of
I was gonna say, like, I don't remember even thinking anything of it necessarily, but I do remember being like, ooh, I get to watch like a grown-up movie because I was like 8.
Of course, Braggs is RoboCop. That is so on brand.
He just likes James Thornton.
I know this movie.
Which one?
Mallrats.
Oh.
Yeah, of course.
I haven't seen it, but I know what it is. Okay.
Nightmare on Elm Street for Jordan. That is tough.
Oh, Freddy vs. Jason. What is all these horror movies?
Right. So Kevin, in my era, like a lot of us saw Friday the 13th is in there, which is also terrifying.
Absolutely not.
Kill.
I don't find them entertaining.
No. And no. Anything like remotely creepy, I live by myself. Like I don't. No.
Agreed.
I won't watch like scary movies. I won't watch anything remotely like creepy, especially if it's rooted in reality. No.
we had a
It's a hard
kid.
pass.
We had a kid party to all watch Halloween, and then after the party, we're all there's like 13 of us. This is back in the day here. Clearly, we're all
Like
sleeping.
1964.
1964. Yes, that's what it was. And we all went into the basement for the sleepover. So we're in the basement.
Oh no!
It's right. So but the guy who had the party, his older brother was kind of an odd dude. But one of the kids in the basement was like, one of the kids. This is a long story, but it's worth it. One of the kids in the basement was like, "Can I go upstairs and sleep with your brother?" And then one of the kids, the other kid's like, "You'd rather go sleep up there with that dude?"
My cousin used to make us watch scary movies every Thanksgiving, and I would crawl in bed with my parents every single time. I know, like, it didn't. It was the worst. She showed us the Japanese version of The Ring.
Whoa.
Yeah, like real horror stuff.
Yeah, the horror movie people out there, you have my respect because I can't sit through it. I can barely make it through The Firm.
I think AGM has it on point here. He says the first horror movie I watched was Mike Glennon. That sort of wraps things up there.
That's good. Bring us back.
Oh, thanks, Alex.
Glennon kind of, he has a look that he could have actually played Jason and or Michael Myers.
Who does?
Mike
Glennon. Don't you think Glennon's got a
Are
like?
you just discriminating against ginger?
I just think Mike Glennon and Kevin Fishbane are actually the same person. He's tall.
Do you know how tall Mike Glennon is?
He's tall Kevin Fishbane.
Okay, I was gonna say Mike is like we had him in Tampa.
Yeah.
He's a really nice guy.
I realized I just went down the wrong path here. Glennon and Carmi, you respected his game. Nice guy. Good Glennon.
He was a nice guy. He was a very, very sweet man.
Yeah.
And he was also very tall.
And
That's all. He was a fine.
6'7".
Yeah.
Well, his neck
he's
is like
tall by
neck
NFL
inches.
standards.
His neck is at least 7
He's
inches.
tall by NFL standards even. He's massive.
This is an odd show today, and I'm
It
really
is.
enjoying it.
Well,
But hey, we got someone
We're
here.
waiting for Nick from
He's here.
House
Spooky
He's here.
season.
70%
Nick.
neck. RM.
70% neck.
That's a lot of percentage. All right, I believe we have the voice of Nicholas Moreano.
Ooh, the
I don't know if
voice.
the whole
We'll take
body's
it.
there, but the voice
The
is
voice
there.
is there. That's all we
From Hallis Hall. What's up, Nick? What do we got?
What's going on, you guys? Just got out of the press conference with Justin Fields, and remember the last time I came on, it was like completely different. Justin Fields opened up, was very, I guess, again, a different person.
Did he go back to quiet Justin Fields?
Yeah, that's more so like what it was today, and it just seemed like again, still lingering on the performance that happened last week. You could just tell in some of the answers, there were short answers, and he just sounded like honestly like a defeated person a little bit. But he was asked, like, I think a lot of people wanted to know about like the 3rd and 9 play where he decides to run instead of maybe try to throw the open pass. Equanimous St. Brown, Dante Pettis over on the right side, and he said that his feet just weren't in the right place at the right time, so he didn't want to pull the trigger and go over there. He saw it, but he said like his feet again weren't in the right place, and he referenced his feet again when asked if he was hesitant on some throws. And he said he doesn't feel like that he's hesitating, but again references the feet one more time there.
So the footwork
Adam, I
still
see your
isn't
face there.
fixed.
I like that he's gone back into quiet mode. Don't try to be nice. Don't do anything other than just be really irritated about your play right now. And I'm not talking about anything because I don't want to talk about it, and I'm just going to show you on Sunday. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I don't really care so much about that. I care more about the fact that Nick, you're talking about like the first play, the
On the
third
first
nine
drive.
of the first series of the game. Like, so his feet aren't in the right place. That's not an excuse. It's a reason. Well, why not?
Right.
Like I'm telling you that
that's-
again. We talked about this play yesterday. It is the most basic cover 2 beater. I guarantee you they repped all week. So how come you got to the game and the feet aren't in the right place? Like,
Yeah, he said he wanted to try to hit Darnell Mooney on that play, and it didn't quite open up. So by the time that he, we're looking at, you see Equanimous on the corner that, seems like the obvious throw, or the curl there. Again, his feet were in the right place. But again, I wonder if that's going to trying to force things to Darnell Mooney, not seeing it open when it is or isn't open. And then by the time he looks off for that, the play for him in his mind wasn't there anymore.
all right.
I mean, I like that Because, I mean, the Bears won. And a lot of quarterbacks, I feel like, will hide behind a win. But he's not.
Well,
I like that he's still kind of like, no, I mean, I still sucked. We won, but I
Someone
sucked.
else says they watched the presser, and okay, so first of all, next time, wait till our show's over, then go back and watch the presser. But beyond that, he said that he just seems pissed, not necessarily like down, just mad. And I saw another tweet, Nick, from one of the other reporters at House Hall. I'm forgetting what it was at this point, but basically just said he just seems angry about how he played.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's one way to look at it too. Like just again, just different from the last time we spoke with him. He also said like he's had bad games before, and someone was asked like who's the person that you go to, and he's like, well, I've had bad games before, and he said there is a guy here for mental health. He hasn't gotten like he said if it ever gets to that point, like we do have a resource here in the building at House Hall, but like he said, he's had bad games before, but for him it's just about kind of going back, getting into watching film, which he said we saw Darnell Mooney in the picture of him catching the footballs on Soldier Field. He immediately went to the film. He said he was going to do that. He went to that right immediately after the game. He said obviously it was very frustrating watching that film because he knows he left some plays out there.
I'd like to let Justin know that I've got a pep group. You don't have to talk to anybody. You can just be on a WhatsApp. You can hit the microphone, and then you can just talk about what's going on, and you don't have to respond to anything. So if he just wants to get it out there, if you wait for there to be a problem here when all the feelings build up, that's not the answer here. Fields should be in a pep group with different Bears. That's my recommendation. Pep group, Fields, Bears, Hoge.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds like a great idea.
Well, he's saying that like if we have a problem, we have this guy. It's like no, man. There's you've got stuff coming up every single day.
Well, here's what I worry about, and I want to get some of the other news too, Nick. But just the thing I do worry about is this guy has never been through losing before. Now, granted, again, like you reminded us, thank you for reminding us, they did win the football game. That's good. But like, win or lose, you're still a quarterback who didn't play well, and I don't care what player you are. You can win the game. If you didn't play well, you go home and you don't feel good that night.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, you might feel a little bit better because you won the game, but you still don't feel good about your own play because this is the NFL. It's all about surviving. You have to play well to survive, to keep your job. Okay, so I just worry because this is a guy at every level of his life had success, and now he's going through
I mean, to some
tough
extent,
times.
though, that's every guy that gets into the league. Like, growing up, they were all the best that in their surrounding area. They were the best in college. That's why they're in the NFL.
Yeah.
And not every NFL team wins. So it's not like it's not a
I mean,
unique
there's
experience.
exceptions though. Like Brady went through not being the starter at Michigan. Josh Allen didn't win every game at Wyoming.
No, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like
There's a reason that they get paid enormous amounts of money. It is not an easy job. You have the whole world watching you. You have the pressure of yourself, the pressure of your family, the pressure of your friends, the monetary pressure, the pressure of competing against the other insane people that made it this far. You got to handle all of that. It's a lot times 10.
Well, and that's why I'm not even bringing this up to like doubt him, but to like actually bring up like, yo, this is real life. Like this is probably an internal struggle for the guy right now, going through some tough times. All right, Nick, I know you got to get to some other things. So what else did we learn from the press conference today? What's Velus Jones Jr.'s status?
As you guys know, day to day, and that's how it's always going to be. But it kind of sounded like what with Eberflus, he did bring him up because of Byron Pringle's injury and the wide receiver depth being, not very deep there. But they're going to work him through practice this entire week, see what he can and can't do, and kind of go from there. Eberflus, I don't know if you guys knew this, but there's different techniques on how to, fall on a fumble. And Matt Eberflus said, you guys are going to eat this up. It's called a city fumble and a country fumble. So for a city one, imagine you're in the city. Obviously, it's pretty congested. There's a certain technique to go and fall into the fumble. And I think he was referencing the play where it seemed like there was like 6 Bears around the football and nobody ended up picking up that ball in a game against the Texans. And then there's the country fumble where you're in a nice open space and there's obviously a different technique, trying to pick that up as opposed to being in a congested area like a city. So fun fact there's different techniques on how to pick up fumbles and how they can maybe improve on that area, because that was an area that Eberflus was saying our effort needs to be a little bit better in some of those instances. There was on the first interception, Cole Kmet actually forces a fumble. Nobody's kind of there in that area to potentially pick it up. So there's a little bit more effort that Eberflus wants to see. And yeah, now we know that there's a city and country fumble technique, and that's something that I didn't know prior to this conference.
I don't think I knew that there were names for it.
Yeah,
but that
that's,
makes sense.
Matt, the Flus is so coachy, isn't
Yeah.
he?
The coach
That's
is
a
the coach.
coordinator. I mean, that's a coordinator for you, right? Like they're
Yeah.
so just immersed in like the X's and O's of everything. They're not used to talking to the media all the time.
I love it.
I don't know. I'm
too.
just immediately thinking of the. I think it was a Tom and Jerry where there was a city wolf and a country wolf, and they go to each other's town. But that's because I loved cartoons as a kid.
Well,
There you go.
I would say that the fumble that they failed to recover was the equivalent of not paying attention and just rear-ending somebody in the city.
oh, that happened the other
Ball
night.
went right through his
Walking past.
legs.
That's
That happened to me.
it's a fumble. It's
It looked
not,
like Joe Thomas snapped it to the other team. Is what it looked like.
It was like rugby.
He was right on top of it, and then he like squeezed it into like, which is actually kind of what you're supposed to do, but you're supposed to turn on your side, because if you turn on your side, it can't go anywhere. Instead, it was like hike, and he snapped it through his legs.
it's a weird skill set to be able to pick that ball up. I'm sorry. Ball's quickly through his legs. 7 million things are going on.
I mean, like
You can't
football's
fall-
too, just the way it bounces. It's really, but that makes sense though that there's another technique. But Nick, wait, I want to know like what was said more, if there was anything said, I should say, about the fact that this run defense is just not like, is that a concern? What is our level of concern, especially ahead of the Giants, where Saquon Barkley seems to be back? Was there anything said in the press conference about that?
He did say the one thing that needs to improve upon, and this is in all areas of the defense, is there's only 6 sacks in 3 games from that front four right now. And he said that right now we just need to get that pressure, that consistency from all areas of defense, not just the ends or the interior defensive linemen, but from all levels. He wants to see his defense improve upon that. So that is definitely one area that Flus wants to see improvement on. And then he did say that the hits philosophy is working so far, but again, he wants to see more turnovers, and he wants to see that effort still be implemented throughout the entirety of the game. And, that's how Matt Eberflus kind of coaches there, always preaching on effort and, just the hits philosophy. He did mention, how these guys are practicing, obviously very high effort intensity, that they are making a slight change to how the practices themselves are shortening up practice. And that's going to be for the next 3 weeks, because he said, we played 3 games in a row. We're going to kind of shorten up these practices now, make sure that there aren't any further injuries, because obviously the Bears have, taken some injuries, and especially at the wide receiver position, but they are changing up a little bit of their practice habits and shortening up practice, just again, with the intensity and now with the season unfolding here.
Anything about Roquan Smith's 16 tackles or anything about how he seems to be settling into, especially like that weak side role too?
He didn't say anything today about it, but I know on the post-game presser, he just feels like he's more comfortable in the defense, and that was evident. Like, those 16 tackles don't happen if you're not comfortable in this defense, and it looks like Roquan's becoming more comfortable in his role.
I gotta say, like, did Khalil Herbert and or Roquan Smith get snubbed on the weekly awards?
On the
this
weekly
week?
awards, I think Khalil Herbert for sure.
Yeah, did Cordero Patterson have a better game than Khalil Herbert?
I think he had 141 yards. He
We're just doing it off
But
yards.
like, weren't his yards
I
per
don't know.
carry? Like his yards per carry were lower though. I think.
But shout out.
Brandon Graham had a better game than Roquan Smith? I mean, I'm honestly asking. It's like I was breaking down the Eagles tape, but like,
I honestly, I don't know, but I just shout out to Cordero Patterson, who we just could not figure out how to use correctly here. Freaking guy's been killing it for 2 years now down there.
Yeah, that's true.
Dave Ragone, man, he unlocked them.
Well,
I knew people at the time, Ed O'Bradovich shouting you out 87, put him at running back. And I thought he was nuts. And I'm like, what do you mean put him at running back? And he was right.
I don't think I realized, going back to Roquan too, that he's now tied for the league lead in tackles. He's tied for first with 36 after that game.
He was the Vegas favorite to lead the NFL in tackles this year.
Yes, he's tied.
I know the odds are really good on that, you guys, too. Like, for Roquan to lead the league in tackles. I know in PointsBet, if you go there and made the bet before the season started, the odds were there was a pretty good payout if you put your money on Roquan.
Nick, you're such a pro.
Got to use points when you can.
All right,
That was
Nick,
big.
I wish we could show your face during these hits. Like he just rubbed his hands like he was like just making money.
It's like he did yesterday, whipping me and Lawrence on the ping pong table. I hate Nick.
We should put money on that or televise it.
There it is.
Nick,
Broadcast
I did let the people know about your amazing ping pong shot yesterday.
He did.
And Adam, like, I went back and watched the story on Instagram, and I don't know why I was hoping it was there, but I knew it wasn't. But next time,
I'm
next
so
time.
mad. Oh, he's saying he's going to do it again. He's saying he will have another diving shot.
I mean, listen, the target on Nick's back is the size of Soldier Field at this point. Dude walks out here on Tuesdays, goes right to his phone, walks down an alley and tells everybody how he beat me and whoever else in ping pong. I'm just staring out the window right now. Won't look at any cameras. Just looking at. I'm getting my focus on for next Tuesday.
I'm looking forward to it, Carm.
I have.
Yeah, do you have any big tennis matches?
So last night I improved to 3-1. I am in first place in the league. I had a tough loss last week on but that we won't get into that. But so you have to report.
You know what the problem was? I bet you that day you lost, you didn't lose to Nick earlier in the day in ping pong. We have a theme going here. You lose to Nick, you channel that anger, you smash dudes at night in tennis.
It was the next day after beating Schneiderman. Whatever his name is.
I was going to say, you totally changed that guy's name.
Yeah, he did.
Last week he was not Schneider.
Schnugelman, whatever. After I beat Schnugelman, that was awesome. But then the next day was Bears Wednesday. Went in the locker room, did all that. Then I met Kevin Powell for dinner afterwards. Ate way too much food. And then I show up and I lose 11-9 in the tiebreaker and wanted to absolutely just – I mean, the hits principle was not going on. It was a terrible job. But bounced back yesterday, and you have to report your scores, right? We played a third set tiebreak because somehow I lost the second set. It's really embarrassing that I did that. But I beat him in the tiebreak 10-1. He reported back the score that it was 10-2.
Oh.
And I want to be like, no. 10-1. 10-1 there, Doug Donnenberg or whatever his name is.
It's like the scene in Big Lebowski. You're over the line.
It wasn't 10-2. It was 10-1. You got one measly point
Mark
in the
it a
tiebreak.
0.
This ain't Nam, Rusty.
This isn't Nam. There are rules.
There are rules.
Do I respond to the text right now? Like, actually, it was 10-1, not 10-2. Or do I let it go?
I think you let it go.
Do
I
it.
think you let it go.
Everyone says let it go.
Just let it go.
But you'd want to say 10-1. You would. I know you would. I'm not
For
the
the
only.
content, I want you to call him out on it and see what happens.
Do it for the plot. There it is. Do it for the plot. That's what the kids are saying.
All right, Nick, appreciate it. Anything else you want to share before you get out of here?
No, guys, I'm going to go head out to practice real quick, see who is and isn't practicing, but good show. And Mark, I'm looking forward to next Tuesday.
Wow, that's awesome.
Love you, Nick.
See you guys.
All right,
Champ.
guys, make sure you're following him on Twitter at Nicholas Moreano. Get all the updates from House Hall, and I'm actually going to head up there right now for the locker room as well. So we'll have you covered today on CHGO. Carmi, all awesome having you here as always.
Bears After Dark tomorrow. We have a special guest in studio, most likely.
Lawrence is really excited about
Lawrence is thrilled. But we have a diehard Bears fan who is also about to appear in the third season of The Real Housewives of Utah. Which, by the way, there's an event.
Which cannot be a real show.
Apparently a thing.
I'm invited tonight to this thing. There's a high level event for the real
The Real Wives of Utah in
Here?
Chicago.
In
Why are they
Chicago?
here?
because these two have strong Chicago connections, Bears fan, whatnot. So the attire for tonight is, quote, icy. I don't know what that means, but
Do you have a chain? Do you have jewelry?
oh, that's what it means.
That's what
yeah.
it
No,
means.
I have no jewelry. I
They
have
want
a
you to
watch.
wear an Ice Muskies jersey. That's what they want.
Yeah, have Hoge give
I
you
love it.
his Ice Muskies sweatshirt.
Yes.
Yes.
Icy.
It
Icy.
says Ice Muskies
If
on
someone
it.
sent me
That's
an
the-
invitation that said dress icy, I'm not going. Sorry. I don't know what that means. I'm out.
I think I got to go like my fancy pants, my fancy shoes, and a sport coat and my fancy shirt. Is that
Yeah.
icy?
And
yeah,
a giant chain, apparently.
yeah, some sort of jewelry, just like flashy.
I personally just wouldn't go, but that's a whole other story.
I got-
Lawrence is on my level.
I have an invitation for 2. So if you want to hit me up on Twitter and join me in an icy, I'm willing to take anyone to this event. Real Housewives of Utah. Let's
Eli
go.
says, show up in a snowsuit. Well, you guys said it was icy out. I don't know.
Get a freezy pop. Show up with freezy pops.
It's a very intimidating attire. Icy. Like,
Icy.
I'm not on your level. I don't do icy.
Yeah.
I definitely do not do icy.
Okay. There we go. Casey's got a water bottle for me. That's
There you go. I don't know what to tell you. That's next level stuff there, icy. All right, we got to get out of here. Will and Nick have the preview show for you tomorrow. They'll have the whole game broken down, every single aspect of it for you tomorrow at noon right here on the CHGO Bears Podcast. Bears After Dark tomorrow night with these guys. Am I joining you tomorrow night?
you are, buddy.
Okay.
That's
I'll
your
be there.
role.
Okay. That's your role. Know your role. I'll be there.
Do your job.
Do your job.
Tibbs, we miss you, buddy. Care what you're failing at in New York right now. I love you.
All right. Follow us at CHGO_Bears. Check out the content, allchgo.com. The newsletter, Bears Things, it's up there. If you didn't get it in your inbox, you can read it.